Hello Aries, this is Seth and you're watching Rodriguez Mystic, and this is your tarot and oracle card forecast for the month of December 2017. I hope everybody has had a good November, and I apologise that I couldn't make this video sooner, but I've had a lot on. So we are currently on the 3rd of December, it's a full moon tonight. But without further ado, I'm just going to jump straight into this. I'm working with my Aquarian tarot cards. And the oracle decks that I'm working with, which I've worked with in previous forecast videos, are the Vintage Wisdom Oracle, the Nature's Whispers, and the Earth Magic deck. And you can find all the details for the decks that I'm working with today below this video. So we're looking at Aries for the month of December 2017, and this will apply to you if your sun sign is Aries, but also if your moon is in Aries or if your rising sign is Aries. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump straight into this reading now, so I'll just be quiet for a few seconds while I just shuffle the cards. Okay, so the central message for the month of December for Aries, as a general reading, is the King of Swords. It really feels to me like December, the key word I'm getting for December, just glancing at other cards that we've got here as well, the key word for December is clarity. It feels very much like we should treat the month of December to really get clear with ourselves about where we are heading with our lives, be clear as soon as we can actually about what our plans are going to be for this month. Obviously for many of us, December is a very busy time with Christmas, spending time with family and friends, maybe feeling that we have obligations that we have to fulfill that we may not want to. But this is all about having clarity of intention, being clear about what we want to do, what we're prepared to do, and also with it being a swords card, it's also very much about clarity. It's also very much about boundaries. So, you know, at this time of December, for many of us, we do have a lot of obligations to fulfill, and this is about setting up boundaries and actually saying what you're prepared to do and what you're prepared not to do at the same time. We can't make everybody happy, and I feel like you may feel like you have to, you know, have a wonderful time for everybody, and that everybody in your life has to have enough attention from you. But it feels like it's saying already that this will be impossible, and it's really time to prioritize, be clear with what you will do, and be clear about what you're not going to do this year, this time around. I find that for many of us, December is a time where we have to assess, you know, what did I do last December? I'm talking here specifically about Christmas because this will be relevant to most of us. But, you know, often when it comes around to Christmas, we think, okay, what did I do? What did I do last Christmas, or what have I been doing for the past 12 Christmases? And what am I not happy about? And what do we need to change this time around? You know, did you spend too much money? Do you want to make sure that you don't spend as much money as you have been spending in previous years? Do you want to cut down on anything? But this is very much about creating boundaries and being clear with what you want to do for your own sanity and for your own self-care. So this is the key phrase really or the key word is clarity for the month of December. For the beginning of December, we've got the Chariot, which is all about movement. It's all about, and again, for many people, not just for Aries, but for many people, the very beginning of December, it feels like it's the start of a race where we have to get everything done for the end of the month, with all of our family responsibilities and whatever it is that we are celebrating or dealing with. So the Chariot is all very much about movement and action. You may feel like the beginning of December for you is a bit of a rush. It's about getting everything together, Again, it's about finalising plans and details and being quite proactive and organised right from the start of this month. So the beginning of December may be a time to really get to grips with what your plans are and already putting things into motion. The middle of December, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So we have that element of unpredictability, and it feels to me like in the middle of December, some of those plans may already look like they're changing, but that's okay. You've done everything that you can do. You're on the right track, but obviously we know that plans often change, and it feels to me like there may be a bit of a curveball or a bit of a spanner in the works in the centre of December, where we have to rethink something, or there's just an element of surprise. There's something that we're going to have to deal with that's a little bit unexpected. And it feels to me though that this is you can absolutely make this work. This is a turn of good fortune as well. It feels like you may even have some good news in the middle of December. Maybe you feel like maybe you will discover that you don't have to do as much as you had been preparing yourself for, but it's good that you already gave yourself that time to prepare and to put things into action already with the Chariot at the beginning of this month. The final card, towards the end of December, we have the Queen of Pentacles. This is a great card to have, considering that many of us watching this video will be dealing with Christmas. The Queen of Pentacles obviously is somebody who's very good with their money. And it suggests that this year, financially for you, you may be feeling better off at the end of December than you have done at the end of previous Decembers. So you may find that this putting up boundaries about what you're prepared to give and what you're prepared not to give will really work in your favour, and you may be feeling better off financially towards the end of this month than you have previously. This suggests spending our money wisely. And also there's a real degree of comfort and luxury, and there's a sense of calm at the end of December, which again there is for many of us. Once Christmas and anything that we've been working towards for December has been dealt with, there's like a period of calm and peace, which is good to have as we approach the new year. It's like a real sense of achievement and accomplishment will be with us at the end of this month. And as I say, I feel like for many of us, for many Aries people out there, you'll probably be feeling that you have a little bit more money to play with than you thought you would. So that's great. Your tips and hints card is the King of Rods. The King of Rods is all about being fiery, passionate, creative, making sure that you have fun. You know, don't mistake this King of Swords here for being a Scrooge or for being too harsh. Putting up boundaries is necessary, and this is saying, the King of Rods here is saying that you can have these boundaries, you can set these limitations up, you can put your foot down when you need to, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to have fun with this month. It doesn't mean that people are going to suffer, because you can still bring in entertainment, enjoyment and fun into the proceedings. And also don't allow this... Don't allow the month of December and any of the obligations that you may have, don't allow those obligations to get in the way of you still doing what feels good for you. It feels very much like, at times, December can feel like work for a lot of people. But the King of Rods is about working on something that we actually personally enjoy, something that really sets us on fire. So don't neglect your passions in the month of December if you can help it. Try to still make sure that you make some time for yourself and for engaging in the things and the activities that you like to do as well. From the Vintage Wisdom Oracle deck, we have Change. Obviously this makes a lot of sense because we are coming towards the end of the year, and change, along with all the Christmas stuff that we all deal with, change is always in the air at this time of year as well for most of us. We're already starting to think about, to reflect upon the year that we have just had, and we're thinking about what changes we want to make for the new year. So I really feel that this card is talking about that, and I think that this quieter period towards the end of December that we have with the Queen of Pentacles is a great time to really contemplate that change. I've actually made videos before about New Year's Eve magic and things that I recommend, practices that are great to make use of at this time, well, towards the end of December. As we're approaching the new year, it's a great time to engage in some of the activities and practices that I give in that video to prepare us for the new year. So that could be a good thing to bear in mind as well. You may want to watch that video. I think it's called New Year's Eve Magic or something like that, New Year something. But this is just talking about the fact that change will be on our minds, and it will be for many of us. The next card we have from Nature's Whispers is a very appropriate, in terms of the imagery, very appropriate card for this time of year. It actually looks like a Christmas card or a winter solstice card. And the phrase on this card is clear endeavour. And it looks like the Snow Queen. I absolutely love the whole archetype of the Snow Queen and the White Witch from the Chronicles of Narnia. I love this time of year, as I've mentioned in previous videos. But yeah, this card to me ties in with what I've said about the King of Swords and the clarity. Clarity. That really seems to be important for December for Aries. Be clear with what you're doing. Make sure you're not biting off too much than you can chew for this month. Don't work yourself too hard. Don't take on too many responsibilities. Cut back a little bit and have clarity about what you want to get out of this month, and have clarity about for the new year what your initial plans will be for January. So really make use of the quiet moments that you can get for yourself in December. Make use of those and to gain some clarity about where you're going in life, and maybe up your meditation practice or start meditating if you don't meditate at all. It's the winter time is a great period, and I obviously appreciate not everybody watching this is in winter. Some of you are in the southern hemisphere, and even if you are in the southern hemisphere, there will be moments that when you know that would be good for you to meditate. I highly recommend meditation every single day. But for many of us who are watching this in the northern hemisphere, the winter period is a great time for reflection and going within. Many of us will, once the festive period has finished, many of us will want to retreat and spend a bit more time alone. We won't want to go out as much because it's colder generally outside, and it's a great time to spend those long evenings doing some introspective work. And thus gaining clarity about ourselves. So I really feel that this is what this card is talking about here. And the final card that we have is Volcano, and the phrase here is volatility. I'm getting two messages from this. First of all, I feel it ties in very well with the very fiery King of Rods. This is saying, you know, not to neglect our passions this time of year. But I also feel a very important message with this card is it feels like a warning. It's saying, because obviously Aries people are very hot and fiery, and a lot of Aries people can have an argumentative side. Try not to explode. Try not to explode around the dinner table with your family and friends around. People will probably test your patience at this time of year. You probably feel tested every December with the whole Christmas and the responsibilities and obligations that many of you will have. Try not to snap at anybody. You know, and the meditation and getting clarity about yourself and your own feelings, that will help. Meditation can really help us to have more self-control and more understanding of ourselves, so we're less likely to snap and explode in somebody's face if they say something that we disagree with. So really the most important messages for December for Aries are about having clarity, being aware that there will be some changes coming up for us in the middle of December, that we don't have full control over everything that's going to happen this month. So allow for that unexpected event to occur, allow for the unexpected to happen. But it feels like we will have a good hold on things generally. Try not to snap at anybody. Towards the end of December, we'll be feeling a lot more balanced and calm. We may well have more money in the bank than we thought we would have, which will be great. And just really kind of tune in with yourself and gain some clarity about where you want to be going in the new year. But that's the basic message, the basic reading I get for you, Aries. I hope that this has been helpful. And as I say, all of the information about the decks that I've worked with today you can find below this video. You can find all of my information below this video as well if you would like to book a private reading with me, which would be a lot more in depth than this reading. If you want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram or read my blog or check out my artwork, you can find all the details below. And feel free to like, comment, rate, share, subscribe to my channel, all of that stuff. And until next month, Aries, have a great December and take care.